Well, Cassiopeia first banned away from Phoenix and Quas. Kalista goes away from Wild Turtle. Piglets got nightmares of that one.
Yeah, they already said, the coach specifically tweeted out, really underestimated the power of Kalista plus Annie. We're definitely not ready for that one. Don't want to deal with her jumping around. That's one of the things that makes it really hard for Sivir. Kalista easily can sidestep Boomerang, and that's how Sivir usually wins trades in lane. It's the use of her spell shield, which you can't use against Kalista either because you can't predict when she's going to pop her spell on you. So Sivir's two biggest bonuses in lane, which are the Boomerang and the spell shield, rendered pretty much useless against Kalista.
Well, TSM going to remove her all the same. Sivir not allowed to be played by Piglet in this one. And I do actually really like how bans are shaping up in the NALCS. Notice that with the exception of Rumble, all these bans are under 50%, meaning we're seeing a lot of variety in what is being removed, despite a very low number of games played overall. You'd expect to see outliers very frequently. I mean, okay, there's the Kassadin, right? There's the ones you expect to see in most games here.
A lot of the teams have been banning out, especially their last bans, the third ban, specifically around what the team that they're trying to draft this time around is oriented with. Link tweeted out, he was thinking about the draft for their previous game all night long, and it definitely paid off for them.
Yeah, a great game from CLG beating up on Cloud9 today. And now TSM hoping to get themselves into a good spot. This is actually going to be a battle, by the way, of a tie for first place. Winner here is going to join CLG at the top of the standings at 3-1 at the end of the weekend. Liquid could continue to hold that spot. TSM can threaten, of course, the Lissandra from Dyrus. No surprise seeing the champion played. Banned in 70%, picked in 16 more. You don't see her slip through very much.
All right, so Gnar left up. Jarvan as well left up. Janna for the extra speed. TSM tried to ban out as much of the speed and, really quick initiation as they could. They recognized Liquid's plan yesterday was to center it around Sivir and make use of that team speed. So they banned it out this time around. Let's see here, going to take away the combo. However, Jarvan walls, doesn't matter who creates them.
Yep.
Can still be used against you. Santorin will get to choose where they are created though. Make it a lot easier for them. And Turtle will be on the end game hyper carry. Let's see if they actually still go with an assassination mid laner for Bjergsen, or they opt for a more Wild Turtle-oriented game plan.
They got to make sure they can hold on to the mid game then. Tristana, this is of course 5.1 Tristana, pre-reworked Tristana. He's going to have a really large power trough in the mid game. Caitlyn's coming in for Piglet to try to abuse that fact. We saw it crush from Counter Logic Gaming about an hour and a half ago. Nunu to synergize. This is like Doublelift's dream right now, getting a bloodlusted Janna shield Caitlyn.
Piglet definitely very happy with this as well. Talking about setting up their AD carry to succeed. Team Liquid, Janna and Nunu buffs for the AD carry makes it extremely easy to knock down objectives very quickly. As we saw, CLG made great use of Caitlyn early on.
Yeah,
she can get that early lane power, bully it all the way into a turret going down, then they can easily chain outer ring of turrets. Interesting siege here, though. They've gone away from the assassin for Bjergsen and into the Xerath. We've seen so many plays where Xerath long-range damage can get to a Caitlyn no matter how many buffs are on her. If they get any sort of skill shots landing, Bjergsen will be able to finish off the high-priority targets.
Exactly. I love this from TSM. There's so much reach to deal with the Janna disengage. She can't knock you back when you're out of her range in the first place. TSM going to be relying on Bjergsen Xerath. It is a blind pick, to be fair, so if Phoenix can pick something that'll punish that, if they can out-gank Santorin and Lustboy's roams.
Looking for the assassin. Now the thing is, usually when you're facing Xerath, you want not only an assassin mid, but also a strong early ganking jungler combo with that to actually kill him. Something like Jarvan that TSM took away. However, Nunu does not provide the sort of pressure on Xerath that you're really looking for. So what Dominate will try and do with this Nunu is work around that mid lane to control the vision and just allow Phoenix to put the pressure himself with Ahri on Xerath. Because Ahri is definitely capable of killing a Xerath solo, doesn't necessarily have to have a jungler intervene, as long as she does have the vision to pull off that play.
Right, and just to contrast it, of course, Morgana and Jarvan both great at upsetting that apple cart. So Team Liquid might have to be pretty afraid on Phoenix here. Shorter ranged, doesn't have any special mobility till level 6. The cleanse is there in case of a Dark Binding, Lissandra ult.
Or Xerath stun. I mean, this is the one thing that Xerath can do against the all-in with Ahri. If he does hit his stun after the first Spirit Rush, then you can shut down the entire all-in right there. Phoenix would be able to power through that with a cleanse.
So really tricky things then. Team Liquid, I would expect, have the ability to make so many plays early on with the early Caitlyn, the Janna, the Nunu making that even better. But of course, Lissandra, Xerath wave clear might just stop that entirely.
Yeah, so that's a good point. There are a lot of early plays that Team Liquid can pull off with this team, but they're more oriented around objectives. Whereas the early plays that TSM can pull off with Jarvan and the likes are more oriented on those jungle ganks, you know, controlling little pathways and trying to get skirmishes.
We'll see if they can find those skirmishes and break this game apart as the players take to the Rift. Tweet either hashtag TSMWin or TLWin for the team you think will head into the locker room happy. We'll be checking in periodically to see which way the fans are voting, and that doesn't count Wild Turtle because he's happy no matter what. We're really saying who's going to win this match, in other words.
All right. Let's see here. I always love watching the early Nunu jungles as well, because Nunu jungle gains so much power when you have strong laners. Quas is definitely a beast. Especially this season, a lot of people were looking for him to rise in the ranks of North American top laners, and really start to take over. He's up against such a rock, though. Dyrus has performed for so long. It will be hard for him to gain a really big advantage. Let's see, though. Dominate already, trying to get that early vision inside the jungle so that he can make use of his enemy's pathway to start getting counter jungling and control around the mid lane.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So aggressive warding on both sides here. Wild Turtle knows he's safe. He trinkets to spot a lane swap. Similar stuff, of course, by Team Liquid. So lane assignments will most likely be known here.
Yeah. Let's see if they can try and work around this Caitlyn Janna. Caitlyn Janna, ridiculously annoying to 2 versus 2 against. The shield on Caitlyn and just abusing her natural range. So much poke. I mean, you have to hit a binding to really turn that. That being said, if a binding does hit, so much kill pressure from it. Let's see, Piglet still roaming around.
Yeah, the big way I see that lane is as long as you have the upfront damage to break the Janna shield early, you can fight back. But if you can't deal that 80 or 130 damage right away, you just get destroyed by the bonus attack damage she gives. And Morgana being an unreliable damage dealer means you often can't break through that shield. You're only relying on Dark Binding to make that the case.
Yeah, Trish
definitely can't, a bunch of dots.
Yeah,
like,
can't do it herself. So
you generally speaking, without hitting skill shots, lose that lane matchup. We're gonna see how it pans out here. Piglet already forcing Turtle away.
All right, he's gonna look to abuse him.
Uh-oh.
As you know, Ultrastana, Nutristana, doesn't matter. Still takes a long time to get her range. Caitlyn starts out with the maximum, and they don't even want to fight. So they got seen going to the bottom lane, and they don't even want to take the matchup. So they're immediately sending him up to the top side. You do lose out on a bit because you are the one trying to react and swing your AD carry away. This time, Piglet's on the other foot. Last game we saw yesterday, he was the one running from the 4-lane matchup versus Sneaky. We'll see if he actually tries to chase Wild Turtle around the map, or they just take the really easy turret that's being given to them. Basically, this turret is being forfeited. Janna plus Caitlyn can take it very, very easily. You know, even with Dyrus here doing his best to wave clear with Lissandra, spamming as many Qs as he can.
Yeah, 2 autos, 3 autos. Nearly landed
Peacemaker as well.
Yeah.
Lissandra spamming as hard as he can, though. Decent wave clear as far as level 1 champions are concerned.
The one advantage for Liquid, though, is Quas showed up to the lane much, much earlier and was uncontested while doing so. So I expect to see a pretty good XP and or gold lead for the guy just by getting their lane matchups. Pick better. Nice binding, though. Thankfully for Piglet, he is out of turret range.
Yep, and Dyrus, even if he wanted to follow up on that, it would be a poor choice because he wants to use all of his mana for wave clearing, killing as many minions as he can. And if he goes up to try and trade with Piglet, the auto attacks alone will actually have him lose that trade. So, finding lands is just going to give them a little bit of breathing room and up Lustboy's accuracy. Dominate clearing his own jungle and waiting until he can go back to buy actual wards before he ventures out.
Okay, so both junglers have both their buffs. Each have yet to recall. Santorin's level 4 actually, so the help he got from Dyrus lets him power up quite nicely. Good bind from Lustboy.
Hesitating to go back in there. Dyrus obviously knowing it is a poor choice. Santorin was the first one to be able to get back to base. Quick clearing there and comes back with more wards. Remember, he already warded the top side with Trinket Ward for Bjergsen very early on, just so there's no interference in the mid lane. And now he will return once again to the mid lane to supply the bottom side with vision.
And so far, no gank pressure is available thanks to partially all the vision and the general low pressure. The junglers are going to meet up on the bottom side of the mid lane right now, though.
Oh, a lot of harass landing onto Piglet.
Yeah, he's trying so hard to push people down. It's just not quite happening. He's still got probably 3 to 4 minutes until he can back for a BF sword. Depends on how well he last hits.
Dyrus now, as you can see, the Lissandra scaling up, the wave clear gets easier and easier. Shark's doing very important work here. Dominate controls that vision around Dragon. And once again, as we saw last time, he is maxing Ice Blast first on the new patch. Last season, he was a big proponent of the early consumes because he liked to pull off early Barons as well as early Dragons. This time around, though, reduced power of those early Dragons and, you know, having to stack them up. Not as much of a fan of it. Consistently going for the Ice Blasts.
It is worth pointing out, though, with all the aggression from Piglet, it's actually keeping Lustboy in this lane. Otherwise, Dyrus would get poked out very quickly. He wouldn't be able to answer his turret pressure. And this actually means that even though Janna is a worse roamer than Morgana, the way he's playing the lane is preventing both of them from roaming, letting Team Liquid play this, letting the 1v1 happen in Phoenix versus Bjergsen, and as a result, Phoenix is winning his lane against Bjergsen. Team Trio mid's not happening here.
Have been able. Bjergsen is well equipped to stand on his own.
Yeah,
as a mid laner as well, and since he is taking more of the siege-oriented mid laner role this time, the early advantage not quite the priority for this team. Rather, keeping up their turrets, you know, buying some time for Wild Turtle is really the main focus of TSM. We like to, you know, make jokes about their name all the time, but there are other players on the team capable of carrying.
Not true. No, of course not. Yeah, Wild Turtle's absolutely great.
It's great to see them put faith in those players. Dyrus, by the way, down bottom, able to use his teleport really effectively. Coming back with the double Doran's Ring really allowed him to push back on Piglet, and they actually gained pressure in that lane. However, that's just the difference between summoner spells. And he won't be able to pull that again. Piglet now coming back with that BF sword you mentioned. See if they're able to make a strong push onto the turret, as Team Liquid would really gain so much momentum once they start knocking down the outer ring. Try and start that chain reaction before Turtle gets to a point where he can wave clear. We'll see how early he goes with Static Shiv. A lot of people will go pickaxe straight into Static Shiv, especially if they really put a high value on that wave clear.
It allows him to do something meaningful in the mid game since there's no AD ratios to speak of. Just destroy minions faster, whatever. Play around that way. So Team Liquid, though, realizing that the lane is really lopsided top side for TSM, they put their pressure to the bottom. It's going to be a pretty easy claim here for Dominate. Smite auto attack, and there we go. Dragon 1 for Team Liquid. They're going to have the timer because they can see that Quas has got that buff in vision. Yeah. So TSM smart, they know it's 14-20 in the game. Top lane turret, they're taking a lot of pressure from this pickaxe Tristana.
Yep. As you can see, the old E activation as well from Fist there. Still on the old patch. This is the other strength of this Team Liquid team. Not only is it knocking down turrets, but of course they have the the Dragon stacking. Dragon stacking, trying to get to the timer of the 5th dragon is always another strength that you have to consider in Champion Select when thinking about your early game plan.
Red team's turret.
There we go. They got local gold on a Tristana as well. That actually really helps accelerate her through that mid-game trough by getting the extra 150 local gold on top of the 125 global.
Should be answered pretty quickly down bottom.
True.
Already putting the harass on Darius. You can see preemptively they want to force him back from the turret. Using that Caitlyn ultimate very early. Does allow Darius to actually chug health potions though. So really, the whole ultimate right there was just so they could gain positioning on turret before reinforcements could arrive. As you can see, Jarvan and Morgana in the area. We're trying to come back up Darius. Turret answered for Team Liquid though. So they retain that dragon buff. Oh!
Oh! Flash is the last one. The Q's getting charged by Bjergsen. Whew! Last ulti charge he is. All right. Flash down for Phoenix though, and Bjergsen holds lane control right now.
The true team solo mid play there.
Yep.
Phoenix getting pushed out of lane. Bjergsen can stand on his own very easily. And he's prepped the mid lane as well. Able to shove it all the way into the turret to buy himself time to go back and purchase. Very important when you're facing this team. Janna, Caitlyn, Nunu. If that 3-man squad, if you are unable to keep track of them and you allow your control of the minion waves to lax, they can easily show up and take a turret extremely quickly.
Yeah.
If you leave any objective alone. So always have to be conscious, try and shove the wave before you return to the base so that Liquid are not able to start that chain reaction. Looks like the 3-man squad is headed up top. They've shown it fairly early though. TSM aware of this. Jarvan already in the area. Maybe he'll be able to get up there. Doesn't look like they're going to have much chance of defending it. Yeah, Jarvan staying in the jungle. That top turret should be gone.
Okay, so the 3-man push top lane means Piglet gets to get a second turret kill of the game, though to be fair, there is a Tristana in the bottom lane doing the same thing. TSM are just simply trading objectives, to be fair, very cleanly.
And it bodes very well for TSM, actually. As we said, they're trying to buy that time for Wild Turtle. He's avoiding Piglet for the early game. Working on his first item here. He's going straight to Infinity Edge, skipping Static Shiv. Since they're having him shove, he wants the extra AD for taking down turrets. He's not just on wave clear duty. They're much more concerned with trading the turrets.
We get seen though, Dyrus flash ult into Piglet. Does not go for the W just yet. Nice pop on the wall. Dyrus, by the way, has aggro from the Gromp. He could go down. He's 2 hits away. Full channel of Absolute Zero doesn't mean... Well, I guess it... Oh, good flash.
So, TSM with a good catch there. However, unable to execute. All 3 Xerath ultimates missed. Some flashes burned, and Phoenix... Ooh, good dodge.
Santorin, true damage. The Black Shield didn't do much of anything. It finally did stop some W. Phoenix cleanses, but he cleansed early. Oh! The flash from Wild Turtle. What a great kill.
Looks like Santorin is going to survive here. A couple more seconds. Oh,
he missed! Oh, no! That's when you just spam right-click in the brush and hope you click on the guy when you walk in.
Santorin, cool as ice. Does not flinch. I mean, flinching would cost you your life. So, Lustboy, can they save him?
Good stun, a lot of burst.
Every member of TSM escapes that, and they gain the kill plus mid lane position.
Wow.
Game going extremely well here for TSM after that failed assassination from Phoenix and a really great heads-up play from Turtle, by the way.
Absolutely was.
I love the aggressive style from Turtle is still there. We haven't mentioned it in quite a long time, but Turtle, especially on Tristana, is always the guy looking to go for that rocket jump reset. Able to get it this time and jump out his life. You know, that BF sword route, skipping the Static Shiv, give him that much stronger auto attacks. Look at all the ward coverage up top, though, that Team Liquid expended, and they still came out behind. All right, so Charm misses. After that, not going to be able to pull off the
heal.
Turtle with so many plays, actually. Not only did he save Santorin with the jumping over for the heal, but also able to get back out with the flash kill. Turtle making a really strong case for himself. We said TSM putting faith in their other carries. They heard Jat. He wanted to see TSM focus around one of the other players, and Turtle showing up very big.
Jeez, that's a 13-minute Infinity Edge. That is really fast, but when you get a kill, and I believe solo gold on 2 different outer turrets, it's going to give you a whole bunch of money. Wild Turtle very far ahead here. You would not expect that against a Caitlyn, but TSM played their lane so darned well.
He never had to face the Caitlyn.
Exactly.
That's the thing here. And he did just as good a job of shoving down the turrets.
And keep in mind, this game started with TSM walking in the lane, saying nope, and recalling on the spot. Like, they were late to all of their lanes.
They were committed to this plan of avoiding the Caitlyn early, and you can really see why. Not only is that, you know, good coaching for the early game plan, you know, to have that in mind with the team that you're picking, but great execution from the team, not to give up. You know, oh no, we failed our lane swap. They got us down here. We're gonna have to pull it back out, and this kind of came out of nowhere. The vision from Team Liquid, if we take a look at the map here, all of their wards expire except for the pink wards. Dragon easily taken here from TSM. A much different style from TSM, I have to say. And I'm really glad to see it from them. This time around, it's all about the pre-planning. And now, the execution of this team coming to fruition. Bjergsen does have his Morello Namicon, so he packs a punch. Xerath sieging up here, backed up by the Wild Turtle Infinity Edge.
Quas gets a binding. Stun from Xerath as well. Team Liquid skill shot magnets right now. And TSM continuing the siege. This is very early to be sieging this deep into the game.
It was really just TSM having an opening here because they have so much vision coverage in the blue quadrant of Team Liquid's side. So like, you know what? Might as well apply the pressure. Allow Dyrus to go back to the top lane for pretty much nothing there and get a bunch of free farm on that Lissandra. Cleaning that up is going to be huge for them because Dyrus is a really big part of that kill Liquid or kill Piglet strategy. If Dyrus can get his Zhonya's built, and then he'll be free to use his ultimate actually on Piglet rather than on himself. And that will open up the target practice here for Bjergsen, see if he can land his ults.
I think there's a good chance they can do it here. Interesting to note, actually, TSM on both their mages with Morello Namicon also both went double Doran's Ring to supplement the mana regen. I don't know if that's done very frequently, but I just sort of noticed it and was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, not only does it supplement their mana regen, but this is like the earliest spiking builds for both of these AP champions.
True.
So they really timed it well. This blue buff pickup for Xerath should give them a lot of control to work with. Bjergsen can annihilate minion waves.
Like that.
Didn't even let Dyrus get his hands on any of that cash. Phoenix, as you can see, has no problem either, though, so.
Of course.
Pretty equal wave clear so far.
So a couple of power spikes did come in. So we have Deathfire Grasp done now for the Ahri, which makes her a gigantic threat, of course. Zeal got picked up for Wild Turtle, so he's actually even better on auto-attack DPS. But that bind hit Phoenix. Now, where's the follow-up? Stun's going to land 2. Xerath ult 1. Dodge. Dodge. Number 3 dodged as well. Phoenix stays alive. Monsoon pop for some healing just in case. But map control TSM.
So Bjergsen, it's actually good that they didn't commit too many resources to the mid lane. Hasn't had the accuracy of his Xerath ultimates this game that he usually does. Doesn't cost him at all, though. Blue buff he's got, so cooldown greatly reduced on that ultimate. And they
Blue elixir, too.
Do not really have to rely on it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's got the early elixir. So that mid-game power spike, they're really committing to it fairly hard. Just one item for both mages, Infinity Edge on Turtle, immediately pop an elixir, get the blue buff, and start shoving.
There's only about a minute left on that blue elixir, though, so Bjergsen is going to be 400 gold down the drain if he can't make much more happen with it. Still poking for this mid turret, of course. The top wave is slowly pushing in, and they might be able to hold Northern Jungle to prevent Team Liquid from stopping that. Looks like that won't necessarily be the goal. They send Wild Turtle up there, and they sent Dyrus towards the bot lane. So right now, TSM sweeping out minions. Nothing gained for the elixir, it seems.
They have split up, though. Look at this. TSM consistently gaining gold all 3 lanes, pressuring on the other side of the map. So Liquid are really the team having to react. And that's kind of disheartening for the Liquid team. They would love to set up their siege. The new Janet Caitlyn. Quas does have teleport. He would be able to join the team. Phoenix, not much ward coverage for him to really work with for picking anybody off. So really hard for Phoenix to make some plays in this game because TSM have been so diligent in their vision around the mid lane. He's completely surrounded by wards there. Even with Nunu doing his best to try and fight that battle.
He's trying, but he's getting poked out a little bit. TSM ping on him. They got to watch for the stun. Bjergsen's going to slow him down. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Nunu pretty quick with that blood boil, able to just walk out of it.
He was ready to flash if he needed to. Decided he didn't quite have to, and all is well once again. TSM still hold this 2,000 gold lead, though.
Man, and it is getting scary for Team Liquid. This Tristana, Wild Turtle here, already playing well in the game and scaling up extremely strong. Oh, using a lot of the leashes there. This is the old patch.
Well, it's still 5 leashes, right?
They changed it in that old patch. Anyway.
Yeah, 5
that was
minus
the patch
5
that they
leashes.
actually changed it in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Tristana Infinity Edge crits.
Kills things fast. Good to see him finish the Zerk Greaves early-ish in the build. It's actually still quite gold efficient. See a few too many people sit on Boots 1, even though the upgrade's actually worth a lot of stats.
Yeah. And the reason we're having this big lull in the game, by the way, is because of the champions selected for both teams. And Team Liquid were not able to get the early gold that this Caitlyn squad really would rely on to actually get that chain reaction going. Since they weren't able to get it quick enough, they are forced to play passively now because they would have to have a really, really good opportunity for Quas to actually get a teleport or a flank and be able to use a flash gnarl. But those are so rare, as we've seen.
Right.
It's been really hard for teams to pull that off.
And so far, there haven't been any grand out-rotations either that have like picked up tier 2 turrets with no one answering, much like what happened in CLG vs Cloud9, where CLG was just all around the map making things happen. TSM much more measured in their moves. Team Liquid able to defend every single time as well.
I like what TSM are doing, keeping Dyrus with the split push pressure. They have plenty of wave clear here. Explosive shot from Turtle as well as Bjergsen, already mentioned. Dragon timer. I don't think Liquid got the actual timer for this, so that's why TSM are able to jump on it. The Team Liquid,
Man,
really having a rough time.
they killed the Scuttler about a minute before just to keep the vision control. They know no one warded it.
I feel like MVP so far has been TSM's ward coverage this game. They put so much effort into it.
Yeah, I have to agree. They've done a great job of preventing this would-be Assassin-y team. Right? You've got Phoenix with a Deathfire Grasp. You've got a Caitlyn ult to follow that one up. No one at all has gotten caught out for this.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of expect the Nunu's main focus to be opening up areas of the map for Ahri to work in to get picks.
Yeah.
Try and control vision while, Caitlyn pressures a lane. But it hasn't been there. If Ahri was able to catch somebody, Caitlyn ace in the hole would be able to add the extra damage. So TSM still very, very diligent in their ward coverage, not letting it drop. So there's no real opportunity here. Team Liquid having a hard time finding an opening. Dominate has not been able to use this Nunu effectively. Just hard farming his jungle. Not able to win the vision battle, even though he has the Sight Stone advantage. So much wave clear here from TSM with the double mages.
Okay, so let's see what the openings end up being. Because the wave clears keep going back and forth. These turrets are not under pressure on their own right. TSM are the team in control. They are slowly picking up dragons, though I don't expect this game to rely on that right away for the win conditions here. Rather, it's Team Liquid trying to get some aggressive wards down, but they actually have really very good defensive wards. There's no ingress to their own jungle, so TSM don't seem to be able to get these picks off this way.
I think TSM are not really concerned with getting picks either. At this stage, they want Dyrus to make his Zanyas because that is their engage. They don't want Santorin to have to be the point man going in early. As a jungle Jarvan, you do not start off building tank. You build a warrior enchantment very early, and he's extremely squishy for the early stages of the game. So they have to wait for Dyrus to get his extra Zanyas, And they have to wait for Turtle. So game going all according to plan for TSM.
Yep.
Just waiting for the tools that they need to pull off that team fight. Since Team
Good
Liquid
by
are
them to
behind,
hold
they're forced to
control.
be defensive.
Yeah, yeah. They forced Team Liquid back. Good by TSM to hold control despite what should be arguably a weak point right now. Phantom Dancer will be the item choice for Piglet, so no extra wave clear from his build. But it will be much more single target damage. They will be able to rely on him to break down the front line here with a build like this.
And I love going for this build because not only was there more critical strike moved to Phantom Dancer, so it even works better than before, but there's no tank, as we said, there's no real tank on TSM. If Piglet does get auto attacks off, if Dyrus is slow on his invulnerabilities or something like that, Piglet, whatever auto attacks you get off will really, really stick on TSM. They have no healing, they have no true tank, so if Piglet's able to freely auto attack,
Right.
he will easily take out anyone who gets too close to them. And the main focus of the Team Liquid team is protecting Piglet. They have the zone control of Nara and Nunu, and they just want to put the buffs on Piglet and let him do work.
The cool thing about this as well is there is no...
Oh! Interesting invade here, vision coverage.
Here we go, Jarvan sees some things, let's poise around.
Sorry, I sometimes, 25 minutes in, get excited for kills. Nobody gets picked off though.
Nope, okay.
Back to farm.
I got really confused as we got that excited.
Well, Piglet, so I was just talking about Piglet, so I was watching him, and he was wandering over to the side of the jungle that they did not have control of.
I see.
That's the
What
only
am I
thing.
looking for? What is it? Who's gonna die?
Piglet was wandering in the red side jungle, and
Yeah.
Kobe had a ghost jump out. Got a little frightened.
A little spooky. It's okay, we're fine here. Blue buff going back to Phoenix. No grand jungle control for TSM. They're still letting this game scale up and onwards. What I was going to say, you're talking about Piglet getting damage down. I completely agree. There's no actually surprising threat here. There's no flash tibbers. When Lissandra goes in, you see the claw, you know it's coming. When Jarvan comes in, it's flag and drag into the ult. You can always net away from that kind of stuff.
Would you consider a Morgana binding a surprise initiation?
Potentially. Yeah, no,
If
to be
Aphromu's
fair.
controlling it, then yes.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll
In
see
specific
how,
instances.
We'll see if Lustboy can get those off. Piglet's positioning so far has been great. That's why I was so worried when he was in the red side jungle.
Oh, right.
I thought there might be a binding headed his way, but they did not have vision of Piglet, so he remained safe. He ran away from the Jarvan flag. Good reactions. Basically, all Piglet has to do is hide behind Nunu and Nar. As long as Piglet has good positioning, which he should in this team comp, if he hides behind the Nunu, there should be no way a binding does find him, you know, or especially a Zera stun.
You know what's great about both Nara and Nunu? Is in their own ways, they're half beast, half humanoid.
You want to keep going? Keep going?
No,
Okay,
just think about
That's it. Okay, I like it.
Nunu is literally a humanoid and a beast. Well, actually,
Combined.
technically, Nunu is a humanoid.
Nunu is actually just the guy
Willem
sitting
is
on sitting
the
on his
Yeti.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. But the champion, the whole production, it's a duo.
All right, here.
Dominate though. Oh god, special. There's the surprise binding. You were right after all. Centaur goes for the dunk. Special flashes out. Gets the kill. Anyway, Lustboy, I think, flash autoed for that
He
one.
did.
Yep, now Phoenix in danger. Wild Turtle. Whoa, man. Knocks back, dominate. Gets control of the dragon.
Surprise! Binding from Lustboy finds its mark. Flash auto for the finish. And they're able to pick up the third dragon for the squad. Extra move speed mainly going to be used actually to walk between lanes. TSM going to keep up. Oh, wow, Piglet. Got a lot of
You got Bjergsen also.
Bjergsen love.
Yep. You got Bjerg sent home to heal.
It's that time. Approach to 30 minutes with only 2 kills.
Time to start forcing
Go
the
wild.
fights.
Go wild, freak. All right, so Nar trying to shove in up top lane, but Team Liquid, time is running out for them. Tristana almost third item here.
And I'm seeing an increasing, we talked about builds a little bit before, an increasing number of builds like this where they stop at Vamp Scepter and grab Last Whisper.
Yeah.
Whisper is significantly more damage than a Bloodthirster. And so you just stop at the amount of lifesteal you feel like you need, and then go for that.
Yeah, and the other, I really like that he did go for the Ram Scepter first instead of straight going damage because of the early Thornmail
Surprise
pickup.
charm. No follow-up. Team's right there.
without a Vamp Scepter, if you just had Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, and Last Whisper, you would actually do a ton of damage to yourself.
Oh,
Hitting the Gnar.
Good point on that. Nice little bit there. Ulti onto Dyrus. He's going to lose a lot of health. The charm! Oh, he ults himself just in time. He does have his Zhonya's too. In comes Absolute Zero. Gets knocked up though. Phoenix very low. Wild Turtle takes him down. Quas on the wings. Gets pushed back. Nothing to gain. Another one for Zero.
Can they capitalize?
Looks for Dominate.
Oh,
Juke,
man.
Juke, all three! Doesn't even need the ulti.
Zoning Xerath is what they've decided to put Bjergsen on this time around. Take a back seat this time, Bjergsen. Don't worry about it. Wild Turtle's got this one. Let's take a look at it here. Dyrus with the threat of ulting Piglet is enough to make the team spread out here. Great reaction time from Dyrus as the orb goes through too. Ults himself instead of using the Zhonya's, and Phoenix gets low enough for Turtle. Once again, Execute picks up another kill on Phoenix. And that will be the completion of his Last Whisper.
That's one of the great things about high damage uptime, long-range champions is a bunch of chaotic things can happen. Piglet's gonna be okay. Maybe not.
Piglet not okay.
Well, he's alive.
He's alive, but he's not okay. Has to go back to base, turret down, you know, objective completed for TSM.
Very much so. Just a super controlled game. They get a single pick. They take a turret or a dragon off of it time and again. It's now 4 turrets to 2. You thought they'd lose a bunch of turrets thanks to fighting Caitlyn. Not the case here. Bjergsen kept mid lane on the entire time. Wild Turtle answered every single Caitlyn push every time.
Yeah,
now TSM in great control.
Preseason or now the start of the season, Season 4, has developed into very relaxed mid games with everyone not wanting to give up Phoenix ults.
Oh. They got a bit of a stun there onto Bjergsen, but not much else gained. Dominant losing a lot of health, but he's a tank, thankfully. A re-engage, they charm Dyrus. A lot of damage, forced to ult himself. Absolute Zero gets broken apart. Zhonya's now on Dyrus as well. Piglet has time to deal damage. Quas is a tank, but the binding hits Piglet. Is there going to be enough? Bjergsen with good damage. Wild Turtle joins the fray. The stun misses thanks to Black Shield. Here comes the snipe. Bjergsen takes down a special. Phoenix running away. Dyrus lands the Q through the minions. Beautiful shot there. That is a 3-for-0 TSM.
I love Turtle's positioning with the Black Shield on him. He plays front line, getting people low enough for the Xerath ultimate. He knows he doesn't have to overcommit. As long as he chunks someone into the danger zone, allows Bjergsen to finish them off. Then he can re-enter the fight when they're on the retreat. Everyone going for Baron. The reason it's not quite as risky as you would think is because they have complete vision coverage that they've maintained for so long.
Wow, that was still...
It was close. Yeah.
Close to a pentakill.
Everybody was walking around. So, Team Liquid, been on the defensive for so long, take the opportunity here. The opportunity for a full burst of Dyrus isn't quite there because they don't have follow-up CC on top of Charm. They would have to kill him in the duration of Charm. Dyrus using both immunities after that, and another binding landing on Piglet so that he can't provide that extra range of protection. Special and Phoenix both getting hit by that last Q from Bjergsen, by the way. So Bjergsen able to hit enough for that team fight.
Liquid don't feel like they're respecting how hard it is for Dyrus to die. They get him down to a third, and then Nunu like channels Absolute Zero in front of him, like while he's still ulted with the Zhonya's available. So and these people are just dying when they could be playing around Piglet to deal damage.
The thing is, if you have a assassin-oriented, high damage pick composition, then you can that can be a very valuable strategy. It's to burst down Alessandra in your CC. But if you don't have the follow-up damage, the follow-up CC, then it's really risky to go for her and try and kill her in that CC duration because, as you can see there, Dyrus had plenty of time to get off his invulnerabilities.
Right.
No follow-up.
They're unbuffed TSM, 8,000 gold lead. Quas trying to flank on the wings, but no rage bar right now. Dragon in 20 seconds. TSM decide that's more fun to play for. And they're going to set up ward control, sweep away what they can. Miss some of this, though. And I believe they don't have the Scuttler either, so plenty of vision for Team Liquid if they want to stop this attempt.
Yes, however, they are at such a deficit. Even though they have vision, it's still really difficult for them to do it. Even if Bjergsen was not running interference here.
Wow.
One spell hits. Piglet down to half.
He is brave. Lustboy removes the wards. Team Liquid will not join in time. That is Dragon number 4. Team Liquid managed to grab the first one thanks to some lane swaps by TSM. And actually, off the Dragon, Team Liquid finally showing signs of life will get mid-outer, but they need so much more than this. Can they get number 2? Nara split pushing the top lane. Wild Turtle coming to join the fray. Lustboy's here. And purple minions denote or signify that teammates have arrived. No more pushing for Team Liquid. Just the outer turret for Dragon 4. I suppose that's not a bad trade for TSM.
Yeah, just because it is prepping them for the Dragon number 5 ultimatum. And they have such a giant lead here. Another clean game and another patient game. Because of the Dragon stacking mechanic, a lot of teams, when they grab these early leads, confident in just playing patiently, not even overextending, to pick up the last couple secondary turrets here. Wild Turtle, by the way, almost level 18 on the Trist. 3 items plus the QSS.
They are giving him all the farm. He is out-leveling both of his solo laners.
Yeah, that was the game plan coming in.
Set up Turtle, and you can see they have completely played the game around that. Well done, TSM. And again, they answered the early game pressure of Caitlyn perfectly. They delayed the mid game and gave Trist all the gold. She's now huge. And Team Liquid never, ever picked that apart.
Oh.
No, you always want it to come out.
The noise when Xerath charges off. All right. How many skill shots can Piglet avoid here for this team shot?
Wild Turtle, wow. Unafraid, down goes the inhibitor, jumps into the team. Piglet forced to flash, half health. Phoenix, gets ulted, gets dunked, down he goes. 1 for 0, 2 for 0, make that maybe 3, but Quas gets out. In comes Wild Turtle, looks for Piglet, won't find it, not gonna get a special either. Lustboy knocked up in turret range, gotta be afraid of this one. But it's a 5v3 inside the base. TSM will get inhibitor number 1. They've got a minion wave as well with them.
Oh man, they can even end it here. Looks like that's quick game. They don't even have to wait for Dragon number 5.
36 minutes in, they got 2 kills. They're gonna get Nexus turret number 1. Quas gets big, lands the ult, but still goes down too fast. Another kill picked up. The respawn on Nunu in 6 seconds. Bjergsen forced to run. Team Liquid will stay alive and kill a whole bunch of wards for fun. TSM spammed those down.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Another turret for the minions. All right, so TSM probably now, since they have mid inhibitor down as well, they could easily pick up the extra gold up top, but vision coverage around both jungles would be very easy for them to put down. Baron actually comes up before 5th Dragon does. Baron on this team would definitely mean the final push, so we'll see how patient TSM are. We've seen so many teams with these types of leads on the current patch just wait around for the neutral objective. Not a chance going in on another inhibitor turret, but with how easy the first one was, there's just so much damage, so many sources of damage on the TSM squad. Dyrus is able to follow up. Bjergsen's able to take down any low HP targets as well. Turtle going for the resets here. All right. That's what we like to see from TSM. Not waiting around, going to shove in basically a death trap here if Team Liquid tried to defend this turret.
I can't imagine they want to here. Tier 2 turrets seem to be the ones you have to give up when you're super far down. They're so easily flanked. They don't do as much damage as the inhib ones.
Looking to catch somebody out maybe here, but it's only 2 people in the bush. And it's Dyrus. He ults himself.
Okay, but he bought so much time with the slows, he might get more done here. Quas gets locked up, Xpecial gonna get bursted down. That's a 1 for 0. Team Liquid did not need to try for that one. And they give up an extra kill because of it. Now top lane heavily under fire.
Yeah, if you lay a trap like that, you gotta have more people. A Nara and a Jenna will not kill Dyrus. We talked about
Piglet cannot
people down.
Dodge Wild Turtle. Dominate channels and ultimate. He's still gonna die. 6-0 and 5 on Tristana. Make that 7-0 and 5. Goes down to Phoenix, but you know what? I think TSM can still rise from the ashes of Wild Turtle's death. From start to finish, TSM played that game rather well. They will end the week tied for first place.
And Turtle gives up the 1 kill. at the last few seconds in true Wild Turtle style, hops towards the fountain.
Why not? Into a DFG Ari.
Into a DFG Ari. Turtle gets a little bored sometimes in the long, drawn-out games. Hard to keep him under control. I'm pretty sure they'll forgive him for that one, though. Beautiful play all game long for him. Scaling up with the Tristana, and really clean game from TSM as well.
I gotta say, clean is the word I would use above all else. Amazing decisions in the early game. A well-structured mid-game, letting nothing happen to them. We're back in 2012.
This puts
TSM and CLG, the two best teams in NA.
A lot more emphasis on the CLG-TSM rivalry.
Yep.
To come back around.
Oh, man. Are we really back at that time now? TSM CLG is back where it's at. Dominate. It's got to feel a bit rough about this. They started this week in uncontested control of first place, 2-0. Team Liquid came in. They lost to Cloud9, they lost to Team Solo Mid. They're back in the middle of the pack already.
Yeah, the Ari pick here as well for me. The Ari and the Nunu weren't able to accomplish very much this game. Yeah, Nunu, control of the map wasn't quite there. Not able to really gain an advantage in the vision battle. And Ari, because, there's no vision around and she doesn't really have anyone else to help her assassinate, save for a Caitlyn ace in the hole. Fairly hard for Phoenix to assassinate anyone, plus missed a lot of the charms, even in the jungle fight where he had an opportunity.
Right.
Couple of missed skill shots, and that's about it.
Yeah. And what really impressed me as well is you talk about the Nunu, and you say, well, it didn't do very much. And, he was doing what I think he wanted the champion to do. Pair up with Janna and Caitlyn, go push a turret down, be this three-man push squad. That is a good strategy. Team Liquid
got the first
tried
dragon.
to do good. Yeah, right. They got the first dragon by essentially forcing a lane swap away from that lane. A lot of good things did happen for Team Liquid. The problem, though, was a three-man push with champions specifically designed and built to push really fast, didn't go any faster than Wild Turtle Lustboy doing the same thing by themselves, letting Santorin do whatever he wanted, like relieving pressure off the assassin in mid lane. And if that's the case, then why even pick those three champions in the first place when you're getting essentially out-pushed?
Yeah, I think the really